All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you all came for today. This is our featured guest, and I am very excited to welcome to the stage today an individual that really has a significant impact, not just in Mesa, but literally, this is a national figure in the business world, if not an international figure. I want to make sure I get it right, so I'm going to read her introduction. Ms. Lynn Tilton is with us today. She's an American icon. She's been named as one of the 100 leading women in the automotive industry by Automotive News, as the Entrepreneur of the Year by Living Legends of Aviation. She's been inducted into the Living Legends Hall of Fame and named by CNBC as one of the 100 most influential names in business over the last 25 years. Ms. Tilton has held ownership in and restructured more than 240 companies. Think about that. With combined revenues in excess of $100 billion, representing 700,000 jobs. Within that portfolio lies MD Helicopter, one of our great companies here in Mesa, which is a leading technology-focused aviation, aerospace, and defense company of the 21st century. Please join me in welcoming to the Mesa Morning Live stage, Ms. Lynn Tilton of MD Helicopters. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Have a seat. Well, this is a big deal. This is like, you know, having a rock star come to Mesa, Arizona. We appreciate it very much. Tell us, Ms. Tilton, I know you've got such, we could talk for hours about you and about your work experience and your experience in business. But one of the things I was fascinated to find out is that you started out as a competitive tennis player.
I did.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was my childhood, you know. I was a top nationally ranked junior player and then used it to get into every school in the country and ultimately played for Yale, played some professional tennis. And then my father died my sophomore year in Yale and I needed to grow up quickly. So I went to Wall Street, used my brain rather than my body, and it probably turned out well for me.
Well, it turned out great, you bet. So, MD, owning a helicopter company, that's fascinating. What was it that, I mean, was this a lifelong ambition? While you were playing tennis, you'd say, man, I wish I was flying helicopters instead? Or what prompted you to get involved with MD Helicopter?
Well, I started my business, Patriarch Partners, almost 20 years ago. And I really wanted to prove that making money and making the world a better place weren't mutually exclusive options. And so my mission at that point was really to give people the dignity of work. Because I think when people are working, they're focused on positive influence and not angry, although a lot of people are working and angry today, and we need to understand why. But that was really what I wanted to do, which is why every company I bought was left for dead. You know, every company that I've owned was days away from liquidation. And so I really got into manufacturing 20 years ago when everything was moving overseas to China, because that's how I could employ the most number of people. And that's why over the last, 18 years, I've employed over 700,000 people that would have otherwise lost their jobs when these companies would have gone out of business. And that's what I'm most proud of.
You know, what you're saying, what you said just really resonates with me, because you're right. We are seeing slowly the loss of manufacturing jobs in the United States. And I can speak for Mesa, Arizona. The fact that we have a high-tech, high-paying jobs, manufacturing business in our community is huge. There's not a city in the country that wouldn't just be thrilled to be Mesa, Arizona, and to have MD Helicopters.
A lot of people have tried to take MD Helicopters away from Mesa, and there were times when I considered it because people offered us a lot of money. But I'm really glad we stayed here, and it was really because of the people and the workforce and the community. And they are high-paying jobs, and we have 500 people today, but we have recs open for another 150 people. I mean, we grew 60% in 2018 over 2017, and that trajectory is just growing, because we just won a $1.4 billion contract with the US government for aircraft, and we just continue to win foreign military contracts because the one thing I did buy when this company was going away were great aircraft and a cult following. And you asked me why I bought MD helicopters. Every company I bought had a heritage. Many of the companies I own, like Rand McNally, Spiegel Catalogs, they're Oasis Water, they're centennial companies. They're over 100 years old. And what they had was a brand name to build around. And so I didn't know I was going to fall in love with flight because it represents the dream, being closer to a higher power and freedom. And we get to serve the best and brightest in this country, those who serve for love of country, the war fighter, the EMS worker, the law enforcement. So this company has grown to be my heart. But when I got into it, it was really about trying to put people to work in this community and high-paying jobs and being the maker of things in America, which I think is the foundation of, a country, right? It's
Absolutely.
Workforce.
Well, you're right. MD, to me, is a great combination of a company with a history, and it is a legacy company. There are thousands of people that owe their lives and have gone to war and have very significant relationships with the past products of your company. But at the same time, as you mentioned, you've just been awarded some huge contracts with the United States government, and I know we constantly have visiting dignitaries from all over the world coming to Mesa, negotiating contracts for purchase of aircraft that goes overseas as well. Tell us, and so you're you're busier than you've ever been, is my impression.
We are, which is why even with 60 companies today, most of my life is here in Mesa because we're growing so quickly and we have so many commitments to the U.S. government and foreign governments. But again, everything is left for dead because usually it has not innovated, right? It doesn't have the product that everyone wants. People will always complain about different reasons companies go under, but in the end, it's usually about a product being created and innovated for the future. So for us, the biggest thing was bringing these helicopters and aircraft into the technological age, right? Going glass, going software, avionics. I mean, we're looking for software engineers, as is everyone else in the country, because software is at the heart of everything we do today.
So tell us tell us more about that. Why are you winning these new contracts? Obviously, it's not, people aren't coming to you because you used to make great helicopters. They're interested in because you've got the best helicopters right now. What is it that is distinguishing MD Helicopter now, and why are you winning all of these contracts?
I think it's a confluence of having a great airframe from history, very safe. The MD 530F was voted the best helicopter of all time. So we started with a great aircraft. But what I did was I tried to find a niche in the marketplace because I fight against the big guys every day, the sharks. There are only 6 of us and 5 are, at least 10 times our size. So we're always, fighting hard. But we came up with the idea to make a military aircraft on our line with the best of technology, digital weapon system, open architecture, buildable, scalable software, so that it was built on the line, you didn't have integration issues, and it was coded for every weapon possible, so it was a modular build. We deliver on average 7 months from the time we go on contract to the time we deliver versus our competitors who are usually 3 years. And why? Because we're vertically integrated. We build 1,000 parts in-house. And that was partly because I didn't have a supply chain that would deliver to me when I first bought this business. So survival being the noblest of causes, we began to build in-house. And it's made us nimble, flexible, and in control of our own destiny. So the combination of innovative aircraft, targeting a niche in the military market, and that speed to market, even though we're the small guy, has made us the favored in the light attack helicopter market.
That's great. And you kind of do soup to nuts in Mesa, right? I mean, when you roll a helicopter out from the Mesa production facility, my impression is that most of the work to assemble that and create that beautiful machine is done right here in Mesa.
It's all done right here in Mesa.
Right.
That's the beauty.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And obviously, this is this show is produced by the Mesa Chamber of Commerce, and so we probably ought to mention that you are great partners in something the Mesa Chamber does called the Industry and Defense Council. This is an organization that is a group of particularly the defense contractors in our community, including prominently MD Helicopter, that work together, as you suggested, to collaborate and to tell the message of the great defense contracting work that happens in Mesa.
And what it does is for these types of companies, like Boeing across the street and MD, we end up building a whole community of supply base, right? The more efficient you can be is by having a local supply base. And so for every job we create, there's probably 11 or 12 created in the community. And so we're working together to, build high-paying manufacturing jobs in this area. And I think, those are the highest-paying jobs for those who actually want to be technicians, who want to work with their hands. And we took a lot of the honor away from being a blue-collar worker. We made it seem like that was not something to strive for. And what I try to do is bring back the sort of honor and the glow to being the maker of things. And what we build is really artistry. I mean, these are artisans. If you walk down our line, where we start with metal parts in the bellies and we create them with rivets, it's true artisan work. And the people who work on our manufacturing our line are honored to be there every day to make great aircraft. Building things that fly and shoot is pretty sexy.
Yeah.
Even for a lady who's got a lot,
Yeah.
it makes my heart beat fast.
Yeah.
But also to serve the warfighter. And 45% of our manufacturing operations are veterans, and it lets them feel close to that brotherhood and community that they still love.
Absolutely, great place to work. So as we indicated earlier, you guys are very busy right now, and you actually are hiring. If someone knows a person that potentially might like to work for MD Helicopter, what are the types of jobs that you're hiring for right now?
Pretty much everything. I mean, with 150 recs open, everything from A&P mechanics, software engineers, electronic engineers, mechanical engineers, finance. We have open recs about across the board. We have not been able to catch up to how big we are growing in terms of our backlog and our revenue stream, but we need people with heart and work ethic and those who want to be part of a family-owned business building greatness.
That's great. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we had a new business coming to Mesa that was hiring 150 engineers, skilled laborers, that would be front page news. What we've got is a great company that has been here for decades, that has several hundred employees, that is reaching out for 150 new employees. So please help us get the word out, and let's celebrate what a great business MD Helicopter is in our community. We really appreciate
We're
all that
10
you do.
times the size today than when I bought this company.
That's amazing.
That's 1,000% growth.
That's great. So you mentioned that this company is taking a lot of your time and attention now. And just out of curiosity, so people know, when you're not working with MD Helicopter, what are you spending your time on?
Well, I'm the CEO of 3 platforms: my aerospace, my automotive, which is a $1.5 billion business, 31 facilities in 12 countries. So I spend a lot of time in Michigan and around the world with my customer base there. And I also run our beauty platform, which is Stila Cosmetics and Jane's Cosmetics. So weekly, I pretty much go from Arizona to Michigan to New York to back to California. So that's my weekly. And then I have a few other companies that demand my attention, but they've been spending a lot of time coming to Mesa to see me.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't be more excited that you're here. Thank you for the great jobs. Thank you for bringing manufacturing and sustaining manufacturing, not just in the United States, but in Mesa, Arizona. And we'll do our best to get the word out so there's a long line of people applying for these great jobs in Mesa.
Well, we'd be honored to have a number of people join our great company and what we're going to accomplish over the next years. It's a pretty exciting time for us.
Very much so. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to MD. Please, you can stay right there.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Ms. Tilton. We'll just ask you to stay there when we'll wrap up the show. Again, we got some great thank yous. A lot of great folks were on the show today. We appreciate T.C. Conrad from Desert Wind Harley Davidson. I think I actually am tempted to go and learn how to ride a Harley Davidson.
I'll go with you.
Would you? Okay.
Yeah.
You're not a motorcycle rider yet?
I have had a Harley long time ago, but I need a brush up.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, that'd be a fun date. I'd love to do that.
I am a fun date.
Okay,
I
yes.
assure you, I used to be a lot of fun. I work hard these days.
Hopefully my wife is not watching the show right now, but let's do it. We'll go and ride Harleys.